Well, we have a quorum and it's 7:04, so we'll start the meeting. Anthony, I think you're on.
We have minutes first, if you want.
Yep, that's what we're gonna do.
That's right, Joe, I'm on.
All right, thanks, Anthony. All right. Do I hear a
I
motion
move
regarding
that
the
we
minutes?
Approve the minutes of September 24th as written.
I second that motion.
Any discussion? Hearing none. Is anybody object to the minutes?
No, but I want to know who's got all the feedback.
I don't hear any.
Anybody-
I don't hear you.
Anybody else
That's
hear
you.
the
Must
feedback?
be you,
I don't
Chris.
hear anything, Chris. I think it's in your head. Don't worry.
Joe, what's the official number here? Is it 7 or 8
What?
for the roll call? The number for the vote? Is it
Oh,
8?
okay.
Or is it 700?
9, 10, 11.
I have 6 and I got a 978 number, so I don't know who that is. 7.
7. Gotcha.
Yeah, Tim is not, Tim sent me a text that he was not able to make it. He
Okay.
might come in late,
Okay. Perfect.
right?
Thank you.
All right, so,
I'm just surprised to see Jerry in person and not just on his phone.
all right, so that motion passed. Next is, let's have an update on the Greenwood School. Anthony and Chip and Jerry can give updates on the roof.
Sure thing. So essentially, I mean, the project, I'll call it, is 99% complete, 98% complete. So roof-wise, we walked it, I believe it was yesterday, 2 days ago. My mind's all over the place, but myself, Jerry, Chip, Kevin, Jason from Gale, and Mark McKernan from Greenwood walked the roof, highlighted some areas that need to be overlaid. It did look substantially better from last time we walked, but that is essentially the remaining scope up there besides the gravity vent work. So those are slated to be delivered, or I should say ship out from the manufacturing facility the 20th. So they're hoping to have them installed by the 31st. So after that point, once they overlay the areas, that should be it for the roof. Inside wise, just punch list items, stuff of that nature. The plumber has to come back and kind of check out what's going on with the flushing of the toilet, but there's really no items outside of there. So that's kind of the high level construction update. There really isn't much to touch on. Again, the cleanliness of the roof, it really did look substantially better. They're going to overlay the areas that weren't acceptable and then the gravity vent work. But other than that, there's really not a lot of work left. They removed the overhead protection, they removed the scaffolding, stuff of that nature.
All right. There's 2 invoices. Chip?
Right, we have PMA invoice number 04972-11 for the sum. I move that we approve PMA's invoice number 04972-11 for the sum of $12,564.75.
I'm gonna let
Second.
Chris second that because I just found out he's a short timer and I feel bad now. Come on, Chris. You're muted. You're muted, Chris.
All right, you're seconding it.
Jason seconds it. We'll have a roll call. Chip?
Yes.
Chris? Yes? Or a wave is good enough. Jason?
Yes,
Janine?
she waved. Lower left-hand corner of your screen, you guys should be able to unmute. No, all right. Give us a thumbs up. There you go.
All right. I don't know what happened.
You just muted everybody.
I did?
Yeah,
Great.
I'm muted.
Jerry's not, but everybody else is.
It just says allow participants,
To unmute themselves, right?
yeah, to unmute themselves.
All right, I was just able to unmute myself.
Yep, the bottom
Are
left
you?
of the screen.
All right, has everybody done it?
Now it's
Okay.
open.
Okay, I'm good.
I don't know what happened.
Yeah,
No,
John?
John, Joe, with your technological advances, you know.
Please don't even talk about it. My son's not here, so I can't do anything about it. John, are you able to unmute yourself?
Yes. Yes on the vote.
All right. Tom?
Yes.
All right.
Okay.
All right, the next item,
You don't want mine, Joe?
I'm, Jerry, I heard you gave a thumbs up. That's Jerry, yes
Good
or
enough.
no? Good, thank
Yes.
you.
Just a heads up, I may have to split myself between meetings at 7:30.
All right, well, we'll try to move this along, as I usually do. The next item has to deal with the DPW feasibility study. Joe Conway, are you on?
Joe, this is Anthony. We still have those two other invoices for Greenwood, the one for Gale Associates and
Oh,
then
I'm
the
sorry, Gale Associates, I'm sorry, Gale
Yeah.
Associates?
and for the hazmat consultant. That's all.
That's part of Gale.
Yeah, they're separate invoices, but we can vote it as one. I just don't have that total.
Well, the
No,
problem,
so peer consultants is not in Gail's number.
No.
yeah, it is.
There's a smaller bill for 246 that's under the consultants.
Correct. So that's like for their hazmat review. This is for the actual, I'm going to call it the hazmat monitoring, the air sampling, stuff of that
There's
nature.
one for 5 something.
Yes, that one is the hazmat monitoring, the air samples, making sure they're doing the right things on site. And then the peer fee within the Gale is a small $300 submittal review that they owned in their contract.
Okay, so the.
Oh, okay, all right.
Anthony, tell me the peer consultant, I don't want to look it
It's
up. on my-
$5,585.
That is correct. Yep.
Is being recorded.
And
Now,
what invoice number?
hearing for the tax classification, I need a roll call vote
34474.
for the public hearing.
What is it?
34474.
Somebody's, I don't
Whoever's
know.
got background noise from
Chris.
another meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got it. I turned it off.
I think it's Chris. Yeah, the invoice number for that peer one, Chip and Joe, is invoice number 34474.
Okay. All right. So I move that
Gale
we,
Associates, Chip?
approve for Gale Associates invoice 2009243 for the sum of $7,615.14.
Second.
Seconded by Chris. Any discussion? Hearing none. Chip,
I move that we
are you
approve.
going to say yes or no?
Oh, yes.
Chris,
Yes.
Jason,
Yes.
Janine,
Yes.
Jerry,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
and I say yes. Now the peer consultants separate one, 5,585.
I move that we approve peer consultants invoice number 34474 for the sum of $5,585.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none. Anthony, I assume these are all within our budget, no issues, correct?
No issues. We're all set there.
All right. Chip,
Yes.
Chris,
Yes.
Jason,
Yes.
Janine,
Yes.
Jerry,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
Tom.
Yes.
Okay. I say yes. Anything else on the Greenwood project?
Joe, I have a question. It's Phil.
Yeah, Phil.
Is there a published budget that shows actual expenses to the budget? Like, I just remember seeing one during the Walton project on a regular basis. Has there been a budget that's been someone's keeping or published that could be sent around to take a look at it?
I can
Yeah.
certainly do that, Phil. I keep track
Thank
of it
you.
on my own Excel sheet, so no problem.
I figured you guys did. Yeah, I hadn't seen one I haven't seen one, so just was curious now that
Yep.
we're at the end.
Yep, no issue there.
Thank you.
All right. Next on the agenda is the DPW feasibility study. Joe Conway, are you on?
I am. Can you hear
Oh,
me?
Joe, how you doing?
No, not bad. Yourself?
Good, good. I've had a chance to review it. I don't know how many others have. I have one comment before I see who else has it, is that when you go through the requirements for the successful bidder
Yep.
for meetings, et cetera, you
Yep.
don't have anything in there about the advisory committee.
Okay, I know
So
I
you're
have,
gonna have to, I don't want to have them, do this and then they're gonna have an extra charge because they went to the advisory committee to meet and discuss.
Right, they're
things.
gonna have to go to those advisory committee meetings.
Right.
okay. Do you want me to edit that and keep that loose? Do you know how many times the advisory committee meets? I know I have, so I have in there, just
It's
to,
your
a new one
advisory
on us.
committee, Joe.
It's your committee.
that works for me.
What are you gonna be? Once sounds good, right?
Well, I would keep it loose because, make it like as required by the advisory committee.
Okay, and
Something,
then,
something in general as that.
do you want the potential awardee to come to the official permanent building committee monthly? Because I know I have that called out.
Yeah, they have to report
Okay,
as you've seen Greenwood, as you've seen PMA do for the God, which job is it? For Greenwood.
okay,
Yeah, I would think it would make sense to have them come weekly, especially it's going to be
Monthly.
monthly, sorry. It's going to be a situation where we're going to have to keep pretty close, control of this because I think many people think that the 100,000 is not enough,
sure.
right? What do you think, Chip?
Well, I think so the real question is that the motion that the town approved does include site review. So if you have site review and then building review as well, I think it's tight. I think it's doable, but it just all depends, Joe, how much time you want to look at the potential of moving the DPW yard.
Right.
I
So
know
that's why I
that-
think it might make sense to have them there monthly so that we have a pretty,
Yeah.
good control over them.
Yeah, I know, as far as like site review and things like that, given the nature of the business that we're in, and Rick had been working on this for some time, before we got to this point. We have pretty good survey, we have good control and all that. We have a lot of CAD documents and things like that where we think we could try to fast track some of the background for a potential bidder. The question is, how much do we concentrate on actually moving? I think the advisory committee could probably vet most of that. And if they come up with an option, great, we'll put some time into it. If not, then maybe we focus on Kitron in our building and rearranging some of the way that it lays out to see if we can maximize the space.
That sounds reasonable, especially you have the advisory committee because you guys have been involved in this for a long time.
Right.
Yeah.
I would
Any other?
imagine- So some of the bidders that are probably put in proposals on this have done work in the building before, so they're pretty familiar with it. I can think of one in particular that did some work on the floors when they patched some of those, so they have a good idea of what's going on. I believe they might have also done the geotech work on the Galvin, so they kind of understand what's going on in the area.
Sorry about Weston and Sampson.
Yes, yeah.
I think if you're staying at the same site, that it's probably reasonable to think the 100,000 is enough. If you're gonna start investigating other sites, I think it's light.
I think I don't want to say it's a Hail Mary, but it's something that we can explore, given the state that everything's built out in town. To find something that's going to fit in where we're going to fit into the neighborhood and be a good neighbor is probably unlikely. So
I would agree. I think you're a good fit down there where you are, but
yeah, I mean, if I had to hedge bet on it, I'd say we're probably going to stay right where we are, just figuring out how to maximize the space and build something that kind of fits into how everything's starting to take shape and change.
Any other discussion regarding the feasibility study?
For the meetings, I would say try to put an X number of meetings. It's gonna be hard for someone to put a price on with a loosey-goosey meeting number amount. especially if you want to meet with the permanent building committee and a subcommittee. It's a lot of meetings for somebody.
Right.
It's difficult to predict, though. You don't know what's going to come up.
Yeah. I mean, it would be very difficult to predict, I would assume.
You know what? I could probably talk to the subcommittee though, and we could put our heads together on that. The group's pretty small, and most of us are kind of in the field. So right off the bat, we're all, we're not at ground zero, so we don't have to learn anything as we go. I can kind of feel that out.
Right, and Joe, I think maybe we can do a lot of the vetting before even getting somebody with the feasibility. We can, like you said, have a pretty good handle on where we're going right off the bat.
Oh, totally. I mean,
By having some meetings prior to meeting with them.
Exactly. Yeah, we can have the direction that we want to go basically pretty much nailed down even before, a award were to go out, I would imagine.
I think it'd probably be safe to say that it's probably a 6-month turnaround. So probably 6 meetings for the advisory and 6 meetings for the permanent building committee.
Yeah, and then we could manage that too to make sure that, we're doing our due diligence so that when we do have those sit downs that we're getting the most out of it that we need.
Right, if there's stuff to come back to them with or whatever.
Right.
Joe, early on you mentioned Kytron.
Yes.
Has there been some direct conversation with the owners there?
No, I know that his previously through the past director and then just some talkings through town. The idea was floated about maybe trying to see if we can purchase a piece of the land to push the parking lot over to that way and clean the site up or kind of explore, what an acquisition of that might be. When we talk to them, they might say, no way, and the town might not have the appetite to do something like a taking via eminent domain. So that could be totally out of the question. That was just included because that was something that was talked about previously and historically.
But you think under the feasibility, they will explore it a little bit further?
The potential of it, yeah, sure. 'Cause they have a parking lot that abuts the back of our garage building. It's used for storage now. I don't know if it's really a total necessity to them or if we could maybe leverage some sort of agreement where we could use it for access or get an easement to occupy some of the space.
Mm-hmm.
More just a talking point to drum up a conversation and see if anything comes out of it, really.
Yeah.
Be nice to clean that place up.
Yeah, I don't know what exactly would be involved in the cleanup, but
So I will tell you, when we have talked about Kytron before, nobody wants to touch it.
yeah, I think in a
Because
perfect,
of hazard map.
Yeah.
yeah. I don't know if it's super fun, but it might be
Jiffy Lube
brown.
cleaned up their
I
site. 'cause
think
that was
it
part
is
of
an EPA super fund.
Is it?
I've heard the term Superfund when we were doing the Galvin.
Yeah.
I think best case scenario for that building, maybe that becomes part of the parking lot, where it's a situation if you could cap it, that we were not excavating into it, but
Yeah.
we won't know until we start to explore it and do some borings and things like that.
I mean, right now I guess it's still leased or to the Camelot. They're probably not doing
Rental
too well.
company, yeah.
Yeah, they can't be doing too well right now because that's all events. So the timing might be good if they have a tenant who doesn't want to be there anymore. But
Yeah, I mean, I would certainly wish them no ill will, but if for some
Right.
reason there was a vacancy and we could work out some sort of arrangement, if it's advantageous to us, we're going to explore it.
okay, thank you.
Yep.
Any other questions regarding the feasibility study? All right, Joe, do you want to make some of the changes in that and send it to me and I'll send it around and then we'll start the process. All right?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll update that in the morning, and then the only thing I'll leave vague is some of the dates because obviously those will be fluid up until we get it into the central register and goods and
Right.
services. But
When do you want to try to, what's your game plan? When would you like to try to get that to the register?
we're ready whenever. So whenever the committee thinks that they can handle that, I know there's a lot of things coming up, but we could get it in, make the changes, and we could put it in now. if the committee decided, we want to pause for a little bit of time, that way not everything's not at the same time, we could do that too.
I think the market's kind of right now for new stuff.
I would agree.
You know, people are looking for work, so I wouldn't want to wait a whole lot longer. And
Yeah,
as far as our appetite, I mean, Greenwood's wrapping up, the high school's, going to be the high school and kind of putts along. So I would, and the public safety building will start ramping up. So for the next 6 months, you're probably in good shape to get going.
okay. Yeah, so I mean, I
No,
can make those
Anybody
updates.
can jump in and correct me if
No.
you think
I
I'm
feel
wrong.
the same way. Let's move along. Let's do it.
The only question I have, do we need to take another look at it before it goes out to approve it? We could do it on, I was thinking of our next meeting would be the 27th. Because
I think we can make a motion to allow you to review it, circle around, and then have it go out. I mean, we're literally talking about putting numbers to meeting dates.
correct.
So the substance of it is pretty well set.
Yeah, that was the only thing I saw, that we just needed those meeting dates, because you didn't want to have them say, well, when the
Right.
study went out, you only had X amount of meetings, and then with twice that. So,
Right.
all right, well, do I hear that motion then?
I will make a motion to let Joe and Joe work on the revisions, circle it around, and as long as nobody has any real issues with it, that we will get it to the register as soon as possible.
I'll second that motion.
Any further discussion? Hearing none. Chip,
Yes.
Chris? I think he might have left.
He said yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Jason?
Jeff's
Oh, there
trying to
you
mute.
Jason?
Yes.
Janine?
Yes.
Jerry?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
And I say yes. Okay, unanimous. All right,
Okay.
thanks, Joe.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you, everybody. I got some homework to do and I'll be in touch, Joe.
All right, buddy. All right, take care. All right, last on the agenda, the discussion of the OPM for the public safety building.
Okay.
And the result of our votes.
We have the results of the,
Carvel, do we want a drum roll?
no, because I'm going to go from 4 up.
Okay.
So I received 10 scorings. And it turns out, so what I did is I took all the scores, averaged them, and came up with an average score. So in fourth was CHA with an average score of 260.58. In third was Doran Whittier with an average score of 303.41 with 1 first place vote. The next two, for as many times as we've done this, were as close as I've ever seen. The second place winner, the second place person had 3 first place votes, and the first place person had 6 first place votes. In second was Vertex with a score of 329.8. And in first place was Left Field with a score of 337.75.
Close.
So, basically 8 points separated them. Between those two were 9 out of the 10 first place. So, what's great, and Joe will explain the process, is that we have 2 very good companies in 1 and 2. So that if we can't make a deal with Left Field, we would hopefully be able to make a deal with Vertex. But Joe wanted, so that's what the scoring was, and so thank you all for getting those score sheets into me. Thank you for your due diligence in the scoring, and looking at how everybody did it. It all seemed to make pretty good sense, and we were right there.
All right, what, the process is essentially is once we, after our discussion, if we vote to go by the scoring that we have, I will begin negotiations with Left Field. There is in the budget that was created by HKT, there was a certain parameters. I will not discuss what the parameters are on a recorded, but if you need be, I can email around what those are. So there is a budgeted amount, a percentage plus the clerk of the works type of thing that we have to take into account. And from that, I'll be able to negotiate with Left Field, and I'll report back to you at our next meeting if those were successful or not, and hopefully I'll be able to report earlier than that by email to everyone. All right. Is there any discussion regarding
the OPM is selected, we start the process, right?
Correct. I will start the process tomorrow.
But I mean, we start the process of then
Bidding
picking a
process.
designer.
Yep.
That is correct. Any discussion regarding the OPM?
So
Seeing none,
hearing none, Joe, I move that we accept the findings of the scoring, which put Left Field in first place, Vertex in second, and authorize you to start negotiations with Left Field to determine a rate and sum for their work.
a second.
Second that.
Any further discussion? Hearing none. Chip,
Yes.
Chris,
Yes.
Jason,
Yes.
Janine,
Yes.
Jerry,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
Tom.
Yes.
Okay, that's what
Right.
we'll do. I initially was thinking about having a meeting 2 weeks from now, but there's a finance committee meeting that night. So I thought it might make sense to meet on the 27th, which is a Tuesday.
I cannot make that. I have a commitment that night already
Okay.
at the meeting, but there's one person.
And what do we have what are we hoping for in that meeting?
To get the OPM started.
Okay.
Hopefully by that time we'll have agreed on a contract and get the ball rolling. I can kick it to the, 3 weeks from now. That doesn't matter to me. I just can't make the 29th.
I can do the 27th.
I can.
I could be there. I'm still on the 27th.
Okay. All right.
Chris, when
Janine,
are you done? The end of the month?
Yeah. I'm officially Halloween, I guess.
boy, that's
Okay.
appropriate. No. Will you be wearing a costume at the next meeting?
Would you like me to, Joe?
Yeah, absolutely. You mean you're not now? Okay. All right. So we'll meet on the 27th. Janine, it's recorded. I don't know if you can review it.
It's public. It's on. You can kind of just pull it up off of the public records.
Yeah, it's right on in the town website. Go to the permanent building committee and it actually has the meeting. So.
Okay.
All right.
Also noted that WCAT posted on their Facebook page too.
Do they? Okay. All right.
All right, good night. I gotta jump onto the other meeting.
Okay, Chris.
Bye,
See you in a
Chris.
couple
We'll
weeks.
see you on the 27th. All right. Take
Thanks.
care.
All right.
Any
bye.
other matters to be discussed?
I don't think so. I move that we adjourn.
All right.
Yes,
Next
second.
meeting will be the 27th at 7.
All right.
All in
Great, guys.
favor? Anybody
Glad you're
opposed?
feeling better,
The
Jason.
rest of us are
Thanks.
leaving.
Bye. all.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Good night.
Take care.
Thanks.